Colts are benching Richardson and turning Joe Flacco to their starting quarterback. Colts coaches met Tuesday morning, ultimately decided to change QBs, sources told.
Ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Richardson just got benched by the Colts, and this is huge news. This guy was supposed to be trained with reps. That was the mentality coming into the season, especially his second year. No injuries, hopefully, and get some reps under his center, play a lot of games to get better that way. But boom, Anthony Richardson is out. Joe Flacco is in. There's a lot to talk about. People are questioning his mentality, what he's doing, tapping out of games. Lots to talk about today. So stick around and let's roll that intro, baby. So the Indianapolis Colts involvement with Anthony Richardson is very weird, especially looking at the way this guy started in college. He only played about 12 to 10 games in college, and then he got drafted 4th overall by the Indianapolis Colts. Okay, he was supposed to kind of go in there and be taught how to play quarterback. All right, he's a very extremely raw quarterback, but he has the athleticism too. And this was their mentality. Here from their front office, I'm not just making this shit up.
Let's don't expect him to be Superman from day one. And I think history shows there's not many of them that are Superman from day one. Some of them it takes 2-3 years to become really good players.
Let's not expect him to be Superman from day one. I think that's a really good message to push when you're getting a quarterback that's extremely raw. So Colts fans, NFL fans alike, we're hoping that Anthony Richardson was gonna come over here, get about maybe 3 to 4 years to really stem himself in the NFL and be a good quality quarterback. If you have a quarterback prospect, y'all, doing something like this at the combine, that is hot commodity, okay? That is hot commodity. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that the Colts were wrong or weird for picking Anthony Richardson that quickly. I just think their move right now isn't making as much sense as I originally thought. You know, I thought they had a whole plan for this guy. Now, when we take a look at his stats, y'all, it has been horrible, horrendous, all right? Just his game against the Houston Texans, the last game that he played before he got benched, and there's a lot more about this game that I'm going to talk about. In the first half, guys, this man went 2 for 15, okay, 13% completion. And some of the interceptions that he was throwing at the end of the half, guys, the interception that this man threw just didn't make sense to me. Put me in there at quarterback, I'm actually making the right read. I'm not capping, bro. Put me in there at quarterback. I will run the ball and not throw it there. Like, that was actually one of the worst decisions I've seen a quarterback make this season. And Bryce Young is playing in the NFL. And a huge thing a lot of people are alluding to and talking about and making drama and fuss about is the fact that Anthony Richardson decided to tap out in the game against the Houston Texans. Okay, now I talked about this in my last video about how, you know, this thing is being blown out the water, it's being over yapped about, because I think it's okay if a quarterback or a person or a player is feeling tired and they don't feel like they're going to give the best, they can take their step back. Okay, apparently I was wrong. I'm a horrible human being. I am not a leader, because Anthony Richardson was being clowned for this by the internet.
But then this happens. We see this. The whole world sees it. We've never seen it before. We've never seen a quarterback tap out. Like, we've seen defensive linemen tap out. We've seen wide receivers go, okay, I just ran 2 go routes in a row. Give me a blow. We've never seen this from a quarterback. This is your franchise right here. I don't know what the guys are saying about him today, but that's not acceptable. It just isn't. Nobody wants to see this.
Yes, indeed. Nobody wants to see that from a quarterback. Yes, this is the first time this has ever happened in NFL history. Okay, if Zor was a quarterback, I know my job would be on the line right now. That is horrible. I don't know how the hell Anthony Richardson still have a job from just being a horrible human being and tapping out of the game. Stupid, stupid, stupid Anthony Richardson. You're horrible. God, guys, I don't get it. I don't get why this is such a big deal. Go in the comments right now. Tell me that I'm a horrible human being from saying that I don't have a problem with a quarterback tapping out of a game if they feel like they can't go the next rep. I want this guy to be able to give his all. And if he can't give his all, I don't think he should be ashamed of that. I don't think he should be forcing things that he can't do. All right, that's the whole part of it. But maybe I'm not mature enough. And I see that. I see how it will affect your team. I see how your defensive line, your receiver, everybody around you will feel like you aren't giving your all. And being a quarterback, definitely, you have a lot more responsibility on the team. And you were there really as the focal point. So I get it. But personally, I don't think it was that big of a deal. Now, Anthony Richardson actually made the mistake, though, of saying this to the media because he thought, like, Zora's thinking, hey, this is not that big of a deal. I was just tired. And he said this to the media.
Man, tired. I ain't gonna lie. That was a lot of running right there that I did. And I don't think I was going to be able to go that next play. So
there's a lot that can be said about being tired in a game. The one person you never want to hear it come from is your quarterback.
Boo-hoo, bro. Boo-hoo. Yeah, he said that, and he should have just lied. A lot of people, a lot of other players have been saying he should have just lied. But that is not that important, okay? I think his teammates, especially people like Josh Downs, they're coming out and, like, really standing with this guy.
Nah, everybody really blowing it out of proportion, in my opinion. I mean, I understand where he's coming from. And I know in that moment he wasn't really like, when he said it, he wasn't really trying to mean no harm. So I really think everybody's blowing it out of proportion. He was tired, and I know he was tired because he had just done a lot of running. It was pressuring him bad. So,
guys, it's really that simple, y'all. I'm not really taking this that deep. I don't think this is going to kill Anthony Richardson's career. However, though, in more news about Anthony Richardson and this whole fiasco that is going down, Anthony Richardson got benched, people.
Just by, confirming Joe will be our quarterback going forward. Tough decision, but one I felt was in the best interest of our football team. I feel that Joe gives us the best chance to win right now. With that being said, not giving up on Anthony by any means, really not. He's a young player with a ton of talent, and he'll use this time to continue to develop and grow as a professional.
Whoa, Steichen, whoa! Weren't your plan? Wasn't the whole key plan of this was to make Anthony Richardson play games? Your goal was to get this guy to play a lot of football so he can get good at football. And now we're changing the approach. Is that what it is, man?
Saying you all preach that he has to play to get better. So how does he get better by not playing now?
Yeah, that's a great question. I know I said that, and things change there. So I think right now, sitting back and seeing a veteran that's done it at a high level for a long time, you can develop that way as well. And continue to go through that process.
Now, guys, that's great and all. That's great and all. The coach and the coaching staff, the organization, they're changing their approach to Anthony Richardson because they still have him for the next 4 years. They still have time to develop him, and they want to move on. They want to put another quarterback in the position to really get the team somewhere because this is not just about Anthony Richardson, okay? But I do want to hear what he has to say about the whole situation. I want y'all to at least get his perspective before we move forward and have other perspectives on this. All right, we're building there, guys. Stick with me.
When did it hit you that the tap out decision was the wrong decision?
No, I don't know.
Right? He doesn't know.
Of course, everybody knows the news. I'm not starting this upcoming week. Of course, it hurts. As a competitor, definitely don't want to be told that you're not the guy anymore, for the upcoming week. But, it's all good. I'm using this moment as an opportunity to grow and just learn from my mistakes.
Oh, yeah, baby. That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about.
Anthony Richardson is not historically bad like the media has been showing you that he is. All right, this guy is, yes, he's not good. His completion percentage is off. He's a raw product. He doesn't really do a lot of good processing of defenses. He's making horrible mistakes weeks in, weeks out. But when we look at his actual stats, y'all, when we actually take a look at what is going on right now, he's not far off from players like Josh Allen. And we all know coming into the NFL, this guy had a very similar comp to Josh Allen. All right, he's a big body, rushing kind of quarterback. And you do know that these guys rely on their physicality a lot more. And those part of their game develop before the actual mental part. And that's why when we look at the statistics right here, through their first 7 games, 7 touchdowns between the two, 5 to 6 rushing touchdowns, very similar. Okay, very similar. And he actually has a higher passer rating than Josh Allen, guys. It is not as bad as people are making it. When we take a look too at the receivers that, have been dropping most of these balls, it's not all on the guy, bro. Like look at some of these throws. Like, these guys just got to catch the ball. His receivers are dropping the ball as well. I don't want this to be the narrative about Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson is just human. He's a person. He can't get tired. He's shooting be clowned and freaking destroyed because he got tired. Okay, he's being benched for Joe Flacco. That's gonna happen, and hopefully he sees the good in the situation and really learn from it. But there's another narrative in this whole thing that I don't like. There's another thing that a lot of people have been saying that I absolutely despise, and it's the fact that the only reason Anthony Richardson is being benched is because Joe Flacco is too good, and it's the coach's fault for having Joe Flacco there. That is somehow bad for Anthony Richardson because they have a good backup. I absolutely disagree with this.
This Anthony Richardson Joe Flacco situation is exactly why NFL teams do not want an accomplished starter on their roster behind a young guy or a struggling starter. The microwave sports society that we live in today puts pressure on the coach to win now. And the bottom line is it's a lot easier to allow a guy to develop on the job or work through his struggles when the backup hasn't won any awards, hasn't won any Super Bowl.
I disagree with that. Now, I like this guy. Okay, I like the way he talks. This entire video was great from him, but I completely disagree with that. I think if you're a quarterback and you have someone as good as Joe Flacco behind you, that just pushes you even harder because you know you're gonna lose your job if you don't turn up. And that's exactly what we're seeing happening to Anthony Richardson right now. If he actually did good and could compete for that starting job and take it over Joe Flacco, that would be good for the coach, that would be good for the NFL, that would be good for my fantasy team, that would be great for Josh Downs and all the receivers. I know, fantasy people, I know this is freaking great news for all of us, all right, but it's sad for Anthony Richardson. And I do think this is all about getting the locker room behind the team again. This is all about getting that locker room together to actually push for something, because at the end of the day, it's more than just developing your quarterback. At the end of the day, you got to develop everything around you. Josh Downs, Alec Pierce, these guys were drafted day 2, right? These guys are assets to this team that they want, they want these guys to develop as well. So they should be competing. They should be playing hard. They shouldn't go out there and say, we're just here as props for Anthony Richardson to play football. No, they're actual people too. The defense got to believe. The team got to believe. And if they don't have a quarterback that they can rely on, if they can't have a quarterback that have their back and doesn't tap out, that would definitely impact their mentality. And that's why I love this change, even though it sucks. It's going to help the Colts get somewhere. They might not win the playoffs, but now I think they can actually be competitive in this division. We got to be honest, the Houston Texans are losing players left and right. The Colts actually have a good chance of going further into the season. Y'all, like, if they could have won last game against the Houston Texans. Jesus, I can't talk. But ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Were they right for benching Anthony Richardson? Were they wrong? What are your thoughts on it? Let me know all that in the comment section. It was Trifecta Football or Zordy or peace out, y'all. We love ya, or I love ya. Bye. Bye. That was a burp.